Hello, friends, fiends, and fellow YouTubers, and welcome to episode 819 of the Daily Comic and Collectible. Today, the collectible of the day is the Hasbro Toys, Marvel Comics, Marvel Legends Series, Retro Collection, the Chameleon action figure. The half-brother of KRAVEN, the hunter, and enemy of Spider-Man, Chameleon is a master of disguise and an ultimate undercover spy. This 1/12 scale action figure of the Chameleon was inspired directly from Marvel Studios. The Chameleon also features a premium design with intricate hand-painted deco, making this a great addition to your collection. This 6-inch scale Marvel Legends Retro Collection figure features advanced articulation with over 20 points of movement, with posable head, arms, hands, legs, and feet. Accessories include one pair of interchangeable hands, 2 weapons, and a prosthetic mask accessory. Chameleon comes on a retro-style blister card package designed to look like the Toy Biz Toys line of the 80s and early 90s, but with updated artwork and logo. This figure was released in 2025 by Hasbro Toys. Now, the comic of the day is Spectacular Spider-Man, Volume 1, issue number 245, with a cover date of April 1997, with story by J.M. DeMatteis, art by Luke Ross, and cover by John Romita. This story is titled Krakenov's Revenge. The story opens at a dive bar, where Flash Thompson has got completely drunk and has been boring the bartender with stories of his glory days. When Flash asks for another drink, the bartender refuses, as he wants to close up for the night. When Thompson tries to intimidate the barkeep, he ends up getting tossed out into the street. Too drunk to get back up on his feet, Flash blacks out on the pavement in the pouring rain. Meanwhile, in Queens, Mary Jane forces herself to stay up, as she can't sleep until she knows her husband is home safe and the Chameleon has been captured. She's worried that yet another one of Peter's foes now knows his secret identity, and wishes they could have continued living in relative peace in Portland. However, she once more reminds herself that being married to Spider-Man means that she doesn't get to have a normal marriage. Looking out the window, Mary Jane is startled by the face of Jack-o'-lantern. Rushing out to confirm what she saw, Mary Jane finds nothing and decides that her mind was playing tricks on her. Unfortunately, Mary Jane was very wrong, as Jack-o'-lantern is hovering above the Parker home, out of her range of vision. Meanwhile, in Manhattan, Spider-Man is at the Krakenoff estate, where the Chameleon has the wall crawler's friends, John Jameson and Ashley Kafka, as prisoners. With the pair trapped in an electrified cage, Spider-Man is ordered to do what the Chameleon demands of him in order to keep them safe. Spider-Man tries to free his friends, but the Chameleon electrifies the cage, jolting the webhead with a powerful jolt of electricity. When Spider-Man tries to use force to make the Chameleon free Jameson and Kafka, the villain threatens to flash fry them instead. The increasingly mad villain also insists that Spider-Man stop calling him by his last name, Smerdyakov, as he has recently remembered that he's a part of the Krakenoff family. He explains to Spider-Man that this memory was suppressed after years of abuse, but now he knows he and KRAVEN the Hunter were actually brothers. While the former spy rants and raves, Spider-Man webs the chameleon's hands to a wall and smashes the control device. However, this victory suddenly turns when Spider-Man's spider sense goes off. Before he can react, Spider-Man is struck in the back of the neck with a drug-tipped dart. When the web-slinger wakes up, he finds himself locked in the same cage as John Jameson and Ashley Kafka. With Spider-Man subdued, the chameleon takes on the form of Mary Jane, telling Spider-Man that he's going to pay a visit to an old friend. Fearing for his wife's safety, Spider-Man tries to break free from the cage, but the voltage is too powerful for him to break free. Meanwhile, the GRIZZLY welcomes the KANGAROO after freeing him from Spider-Man's webbing. The KANGAROO is upset because even though he just started his career, he was already beaten by Spider-Man on 2 occasions. Adding to this humiliation, the KANGAROO's high-tech armor got trashed, and he's been forced to hide out wearing nothing but his underwear. Although the GRIZZLY is offered an opportunity to get revenge against Spider-Man, the KANGAROO isn't really buying it from a villain who is nothing more than a washed-up wrestler. However, the GRIZZLY insists that he's a great villain and tells a wild story about how he once broke Spider-Man's back and tossed his body into the East River. The KANGAROO finds this hard to believe since Spider-Man is clearly still alive. Finding this whole idea ridiculous, the KANGAROO is about to leave when they're joined by the GIBBON and the Spot, who have also been summoned by the GRIZZLY as well. Back in Queens, Mary Jane is woken up when someone turns off the television. She's relieved to see that it's her husband, Peter. The couple kiss and head up to the bedroom to go to bed. However, while Peter is washing his face, Mary Jane goes for a baseball bat, as she has already deduced that this is really the chameleon in disguise. With his cover blown, the chameleon drops his disguise and tries to seduce Mary Jane by offering to make himself appear as anyone she wants. However, Mary Jane wants nothing to do with this lunatic and warns Smerjikov to keep away from her. Unfortunately, her threats do little to dissuade the villain, who tells her that he intends to get what he wants. Back at the Krakenoff mansion, Spider-Man recovers from the electrical shock he received. Fearing for his wife's safety, he loses his temper with Dr. Kafka when she insists that the chameleon won't hurt anyone. Furious, the wall-crawler blames Ashley for everything that's happened. When John tries to defend her, Ashley admits that Spider-Man was right. However, the wall-crawler realizes that he crossed a line and apologizes. Needing to get out, Spider-Man spins gloves out of his webbing to insulate his hands. They prove to be enough to allow him to rip the cage open. Rushing to his home, Spider-Man is almost attacked by Mary Jane, who's in a frenzy. Calming her down, the wall-crawler discovers that his wife beat the chameleon into unconsciousness. When the couple thinks about this, they both begin to laugh, despite the severity of the situation. When Peter's spider sense goes off, he is too late to stop the chameleon from escaping. Although the pair feel that it will be a long time before the chameleon comes back to their home and terrorizes them. Falling down the street, the chameleon runs into KRAVEN the Hunter again. However, this time, the chameleon insists that this being is nothing more than a figment of his imagination, as the real KRAVEN is dead. KRAVEN points out that if he is a hallucination, how could he have knocked out Spider-Man with a drug dart back at the mansion? Stunned by this reality, the chameleon is shot by KRAVEN, who insists that there can only be one Krakenoff in this world, and that person is him. This story is continued in the Spectacular Spider-Man, issue number 246. Geek Fact: the Kangaroo was defeated by Spider-Man twice. First, in Spectacular Spider-Man, issue number 242, released in December of 1996. And then in the previous story, issue number 244, from March of 97. However, the Kangaroo makes a point to say he's not the original Kangaroo, but his successor. The original Kangaroo died in Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 126, with a cover date of November 1973. Bonus Geek Fact: the GRIZZLY was a professional wrestler until J. Jonah Jameson's editorials put him out of a job, as seen in Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 139, with the cover date of December 1974. Advertising Ad Fact:
check out boxes of Mike and Ike and Hot Tamales candy and play the Spot Spidey Instant Win game. Woo! Spot Spidey inside the box and you could win one of these great Marvel prizes. 10 grand prizes include Spider-Man leather jackets.
Surprise!
100 first prizes include Marvel Superheroes video games.
Oh my gosh!
And 1,000 second prizes include Spider-Man comic subscriptions for 6 months.
Oh my God.
Plus, free Marvelous merchandise.
What?
Get great Marvel merchandise, including bandanas, hats, and CD-ROM comics, when you save the Spidey spots found on special Mike and Ike and Hot Tamale packages.
Whoa!
Only from Marvel Comics.
Well, I guess it would be nice if I could reach everybody, but I gotta be picky who I give my facts to. But I gotta think twice before I give my facts away. I gotta have 3 facts a day, and it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 52 weeks a year too. Oh, I need 2 days a week from that emotion. Time to pick my brain up off the floor. But when facts come down without devotion, well, it's gonna take a strong cat, baby, to keep giving you more. 'Cause I gotta have facts. I gotta have facts. 'Cause I gotta have facts, facts, and facts. I gotta have the final geek fact. That's right. You gotta have facts, baby.
The Chameleon is the half-brother of KRAVEN the Hunter, and known as one of Spider-Man's cruelest, most vindictive, villainous enemies. Originally, the Chameleon had no superhuman powers. Later, the Chameleon's powers were made innate. His epidermis and skin pigmentation have been surgically and mutagenically altered by a serum so that he could take on the appearance of any person at will. He also wears fabric made of memory material that responds to nerve impulses and can appear to be whatever costume he wishes it to be. When his past friendship with Sergei Krakenov was revealed, it was also revealed that the Chameleon had taken the same serums that KRAVEN had taken over the years. This would suggest that the two characters were of a similar age, over 70 years old. It would also suggest that the Chameleon's physical strength and endurance would be somewhat augmented, but as the Chameleon's strength is much lower than that of KRAVEN, his augmentations may not have reached a superhuman level. Later, he returned to his powerless state, as the Chameleon kidnaps people and brutally kills them by dumping them in an acid bath. From listening to them beg for their lives, he altered his pitch to sound exactly alike and takes a face print to make into a mask. This more chilling Chameleon also seeks to fix the lives of his faces, attempting to rectify their problems while he poses as them as a part of some warped, heroic view of himself. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining me for another Daily Comic and Collectible, and I hope to see you again Monday. This is KRAVEN Comicsman, and I'll catch you on the flip. Bye-bye. Over and out.